to go ahead and mount our CPU cooler. We're going to go ahead and look at it here. You'll see that it comes with a plastic cover here. A lot of these CPU coolers and heat sinks now come with thermal paste already applied, so you don't need to actually have any of your own. Obviously, if you're using an old one, you'll want to use some Arctic Silver or some other thermal paste. I recommend Arctic Silver. If you have an old one, you want to make sure all the old stuff is off. Isopropyl alcohol and Q-tips work great for removing old thermal paste. And you'll want to apply, what I do is just a little teeny drop in each four corners, a couple of drops in the middle, and then take a piece of cardboard or something like that and make sure it's a nice even layer, kind of like what this comes with here. As you can see, there's just a real thin layer of thermal paste already on there. So now before we actually stick this down on there, we're going to want to look at our fan and see how it's aligned. We'll see that our CPU fan connection is right over here on the side. Oops. Make sure our CPU fan connection is right here, right there. So we'll want to line our cable up so that it lines up with that, so it's on the same side as that connector. Actually, I'm going to go ahead, because this cable is so long, I'm going to go ahead and turn it around, and then that'll give me more options. Now, when you're actually putting on this CPU fan, you'll see that one side actually has a lever, and this side just has a metal hook. You can see that on this other side. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to take the metal hook and you'll want to put it onto this little plastic tab right over here. You'll want to go ahead and place that under that hook on that side first. You may actually have to maneuver this side here so that it's out further, like so, and give you the freedom to hook that under that plastic connector. And then you set your fan down. Make sure that it's down on top of the CPU. And our hook came loose here. There we go. So make sure it's under that hook, and then what you'll do is you'll move to this side and you'll want to go ahead and take it and get it under the other side hook. To do that, I'll need to, if it won't go, it's because you probably got your lever in the wrong position. So make sure you push it down all the way here, and then that's going to allow you the freedom to move that hook up and under this plastic hook on the other side. Clip in. Once it clips in just like that, you'll want to go ahead and take this lever and push it to the other side. And when you do that, you'll see that that clamps down. Once you get it all the way over like that, you might hear it snap. And now that CPU fan is down. On this fan connector now, we'll want to go ahead and connect this connector for the CPU fan to the motherboard before we forget. We can always use zip ties to tie it up somewhere as well. But you'll see that the CPU fan has two little notches here. Those little notches will go around the back part of the CPU fan connection there. And you'll just line up the pins. And it'll only go on one way. You'll see that, oops. You'll see that those little notches are going right over that plastic tab on the connector. Once you get that in like that, you've got your fan connected, and you'll see they supplied you plenty of cable here. We'll probably want to, just to make sure that doesn't get in the fan or anything like that, we'll want to make sure we zip tie that down, or zip tie that down somewhere. So we'll get that done, and we'll go ahead and move on to our memory next. Okay, you'll see that I actually used a small zip tie to zip tie my cable over here to the connector here. That's fine. Anybody that wants to disconnect this fan can just simply snip this zip tie before they take it off. We'll go ahead and want to snip this and off of our zip tie. Looking for a little bit smaller zip ties, but actually need some 10 snips or something. There we go. And get that off there. Make it look nice and neat. That way we don't have a big cord dangling here. That could be getting in our fan and causing trouble or making a loud noise if it hits that fan. So that's got that out of the way. Next step is to insert our memory. So we'll go ahead and we have 2 memory slips, so you want to go ahead and take these tabs, pull them both back. They go back about 45 degrees or so. Make sure they're all opened up, and we'll go ahead and get our memory out of our case next. Alright, got our Ripjaws memory here. If we can get the package open. Go ahead and get one out. You may have to push up on the bottom side of it to make it come out easier. One thing you don't want to do is make sure you don't touch the gold pins down there. You don't want your fingerprints and oils down there corroding those connections, those gold connections. You'll see that once we got our memory out here, it can only go in one way. As long as you bought the right memory for your motherboard, it should fit. But you'll see because of this groove right here, and that groove, that notch right there, I'm actually going to have to flip this around to make it fit in. So we'll go ahead and do that. We'll go ahead and once you get it in lined up, you'll want to push down firmly with your thumb or forefinger on one end. It will, when you push down, it should actually snap into place. Like that. Sometimes it's a little bit hard. You don't want to push down pretty hard. That one snaps in. We'll get our other one out of our case. Ow, get that in there. That tight package. And this is about the only thing on the motherboard that you might want to force, because sometimes, as long as you know you get it lined up correctly, you do have to apply a little bit of force to get those, and when everything's new, to get it to snap in place. So now we've got our 4 gigs of memory in there, and we are ready to go ahead and start inserting our motherboard into the case. So we'll go ahead and do that with the next part of the movie, and that's coming up next.